Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum's live web series, Skilled Trades Opportunities for Women. My name is Racine DeBartolo, and I will be your host. Before we get started, I wanted to share just a few housekeeping items. Just to ensure an enjoyable webinar experience and to reduce the background noise, all attendees will be muted for the duration of the webinar. If you do have any questions, please enter them through the webinar control panel, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded, and we will make it available on our YouTube channel following the broadcast. Please share your thoughts during today's webinar by tweeting to us at CAF_FCA or on Facebook at CAF Apprenticeship. The Canadian Apprenticeship Forum is a nonprofit organization that collaborates with apprenticeship stakeholders across Canada to develop research insights and promote apprenticeship training. The Forum is hosting this series of webinars to help women living in Canada learn more about opportunities in the skilled trades industry. We conclude our series with Isabelle Hétu, Program Manager with Trucking HR Canada. Isabelle will review the Women with Drive initiative, where Trucking HR Canada is working with industry stakeholders to increase the representation of women in the sector. Welcome, Isabelle.
Thank you, Racine, and thank you to the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum for having us today, and thank you to everyone who's in attendance right now. I am pleased to be here today to talk about our Women with Drive initiative, and more specifically, women in trades and trucking. So first of all, I will run you through an introduction about what Trucking HR Canada does, who we are, and who we work with. And then after that, I will run you through trucking by the numbers, a general overview of what the trucking industry does and its importance in the Canadian economy. And following that, I'd like to discuss a little bit more the different career opportunities in the industry, whether it's in the trades or elsewhere. And at the end, I will show you a link to a video which will be provided to you by CAF after the presentation, and some of our mentoring initiative documents that I think you might find interesting. So first of all, who we are, so we're a national not-for-profit organization similar to CAF, but we work specifically in the trucking industry. And through our partnerships with trucking associations and directly with employers across the country, we work on different initiatives. Among them, there's the development of practical tools and resources for employers with regards to underrepresented groups, such as women, but also Indigenous peoples, persons with disabilities, physical minorities, and youth. Our Women with Drive initiative was launched in 2014, so that was 2 years ago, in an effort to better inform employers of the benefits of reaching out to a larger labor pool. The advisory committee includes women in leadership positions from across the country, and that was really a success in getting everyone to get together and discuss this issue so we can better support employers in the industry, raise awareness of career opportunities in the industry, and better support the integration of women in the trucking workforce. Our mentorship program, which, as I mentioned, I'll address later on, is available in more detail on our website. It was conducted, it started in 2014, and then we ran a survey of women in the industry to know a little bit more what they would be interested in knowing, or different tools that they would be interested in having as women in the industry. And among the top 3 supports that they were interested in was mentorship. So it really plays a key role in women succeeding in trucking. Employers have been involved with us since the beginning, and we've already seen increased awareness and interest in learning more about how to address the barriers women face in the trucking industry and how to make the industry more inclusive to women. About trucking, and these are facts that some people may not know readily, but it's really something that is major. We are the largest federally regulated sector, representing more than 40% of federally regulated employers in Canada. That is the largest sector in front of rail, air, banking, and telecommunications. The industry also generates more than $34 billion in GDP annually, literally moving in excess of 90% of all consumer goods on the market. From the banana you've had for breakfast to the shirt on your back, if you've got it, a truck brought it. That's really as simple as that. And to make such a large industry moving and make sure that people have access to essential goods on a daily basis, it takes more than 300,000 devoted people each day working either on the road or behind the scene. It's an ever-changing industry that provides both freedom and job security. However, the most recent labor market information shows that by 2025, more than 30,000 truck drivers will be needed. Thousands of jobs opportunities are also expected to be created for mechanics, technicians, dispatchers, and even senior managers. And while those numbers are really high, and we know that women make 48% of the Canadian workforce, only 3% of them currently assume the roles of truck drivers or mechanics and transport trailer technicians. That being said, this means there are multiple opportunities for women from all walks of life to join this vibrant industry and gain full employment. And now to the career opportunities. So in the trades more specifically, and that's why today I'd like to go through some of those career opportunities with you. There are a lot of job openings that are forecasted for years to come. So as you can see here, these opportunities such as truck and transport mechanic, truck and trailer technician, but also parts technicians, welders, and more are all available. These jobs can also lead to more managerial positions like shop supervisor, foreman, or maintenance manager. So what does a truck and transport mechanic do? Basically, they're in charge of repairing and maintaining all commercial trucks and truck tractors to ensure the equipment used on a daily basis by truck drivers is safe and in good working condition. With the arrival of new technologies in today's trucks, this job also requires good computer skills and a solid understanding of technology. To become a truck and transport mechanic, you'll need to go through an apprenticeship training that leads to a certificate of qualification. Very similar to the truck and transport mechanic, the truck and trailer technician performs similar duties, but you will focus on the trailers instead. You must also obtain your apprenticeship certificates to access this job. Both these occupations are in very high demand by trucking employers and provide good job security. If you're interested in these two occupations, we recommend that you either contact a local trucking company or maintenance facility to see what they require for this job, or contact your provincial trades and apprenticeship office. What's also great about these two occupations is that they can lead to more decision-making jobs like shop supervisor, maintenance manager, and operations manager. While they may not be as hands-on as technician or mechanic, these occupations can get you to take on more leadership-related responsibilities, like managing a group of technicians or mechanics, making sure that everything is done on time, managing schedules, etc. Generally speaking, supervisors and managers are experienced and trained technicians or mechanics and may also be provided with additional professional development in the field of management. Other opportunities in the industry also exist beyond the trades. And among those, as you can see from all the occupations listed here, it really takes a village to get trucks moving across the country and even North America. So while these other trades occupations are really in high demand, the truck driver occupation is the one that is the most high demand occupation in the industry. It might seem intuitive, for example, to get a truck from point A to point B, but really it takes a lot of people behind it. And just like in our orchestra, supervisors, for example, make sure that everything goes smoothly, either at the terminal or on the road. It's really a team job. Whether you're the truck driver, whether you're the dispatcher or the supervisor, everyone works together to make sure that the merchandise gets from point A to point B. And you can learn more about those career paths, because I don't want to focus too much on them today since we were talking about trades, but you can learn more on our website, truckinghr.com, and we do have the resources and lists of steps that you can take to either become those, to work in those occupations or at least learn more about those. So following on that, and like I mentioned at the beginning, there's a video that was released very recently about women in the trucking industry. And while I can't play it today for technical reasons, it would really be great, I think, for you to hear the story of the trucking industry from women who work on a day-to-day basis in the industry and see why they really enjoy working in the different occupations, from truck drivers to technicians to dispatchers and even managers. They give such a great, passionate, and enlightened perspective as to what their daily jobs are that I think you would find that very beneficial. It will be provided to you in a document following the webinar again. Now moving on to our mentorship initiative, and as I mentioned earlier, it's part of our Women with Drive, which comes with other resources for employers. But this one is focused on both employers and employees, or people currently working in the industry. And since there's a lot of room for women in the industry, we thought it would be great to make it a public document that anyone can access from our website. Feel free to have a look. It's on our website, truckinghr.com. It's free for download. It gives you the tools to go from a one-on-one mentorship relationship to really exploring online forums or online peer networks to local women's events. And following on that, actually, it's a recent development, but we're having our first Driver Connect and Share event on November 12th, where women who are truck drivers will be meeting together and exchanging information and tips about mentorship and how they can help each other and support each other in the industry. So that's to be continued. Other than that, if you have any questions around the other careers that I did not have time to touch on today, you can go on our website, take our online career quiz, which can give you an idea of which occupation may be suited for you or which occupation you may find interesting. You can also check out our Careers in Trucking portal at truckingcareers.ca. It has more information on the training paths for each of those occupations as well. And for more information on our Women with Drive initiative, feel free again to check out our website. Thank you very much, everyone, and it's really appreciated that you attended today.
Thank you so much, Isabelle, for taking the time to share all this wonderful information with us. We do have time to answer a few questions, so if you do have a question, please enter them through the webinar control panel. Great, so it looks like I have one coming in here. So Isabelle, one of the questions is, what are some of the most common barriers faced by women in the trucking industry?
One of the main barriers that we've heard from women is really the fact that considering that there's only 3% of truck drivers, is the fact that some of them may be the only females at their company, or at least the only female driver. So not being close to other women was one of the main barriers that decided. Other barriers were also that, and it kind of builds on being the only women working there, is not having access to necessarily someone they can feel like they can talk to about women-specific issues.
Great. And do you have any suggestions on how to overcome these barriers?
Well, that is part of our mentorship initiative, and it's something that more and more employers have taken over the last few months, even here, where we put women in touch with one another through different events, like our Driver Connect and Share in November, but also through our Women with Drive Leadership Summit, which happens once a year, and we're also moving on to a Western Women with Drive initiative next spring, I believe. So really what we're doing, and we've seen more and more women organized by themselves at the grassroots level, is meeting together, even though you may not be working for the same company, is finding other women either on online peer networks or through your contacts or at truck stops, and, you know, sitting together and seeking advice from other experienced women in the industry.
Super. And I do see that some people have raised their hand to ask questions. Just due to connectivity issues, we just do ask that you enter your questions through the control panel, and we'll make sure to ask them for you. So if you don't know where that is, just on your control panel, you'll have a little section that says questions or chat. Feel free to enter your question in either one of those two boxes. Super. So the next question is, what tips can you share with apprentices when looking for an employer sponsor?
I would recommend going to trucking employers that have a proven in your company, in your community, sorry, and really insisting on meeting with them. And the reason why I'm saying this is most of them, especially small and medium businesses in rural communities, for example, have a lot on their plates when it comes to running their business. So showing up in person usually helps. There's also different job boards, even for apprentices, that exist within the trucking industry. So looking at those and looking at the trade publications, which is something that may be a little different from other industries, where you can really be part of the trucking community without working in it already. So that's one of the first steps that I would give. There are a listing of trucking companies, and you can look at their safety records, you can look at what they do, you can look at the field they work in. And like I mentioned at the end of my presentation, depending on what focus you would like to have once you do your apprenticeship, and after your apprenticeship, is looking at the different companies that suit that. So our Careers in Trucking website is probably a good first step.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Isabelle. If anyone else has any other questions, oh, I do have another question right here. So, one of the questions that we have is, what would you suggest for engaging our female youth into the industry? So, you know, either educators or career counselors that are talking to young students. What do you guys suggest to sort of get them started?
That's a great question. The last question. It's as you probably know, the trucking industry is aging. The average age of a typical truck driver, for example, is over 47 years old right now. And the trades and any other occupation really is following the same curve. So around the tips, I would say, and from some of the experiences that we've heard from employers, getting them to see an actual truck helps. Driver simulators, even if they're not, even if they don't want to become a truck driver, they want to become a technician, for example. Being able to see it directly. And if you're a career counselor or if you work with high school students, what I would recommend, if you have a trucking company in and around your community, getting in touch with them and organize a field visit there. And I know sometimes it's a constraint that you may not have the time to do that, or you may not have the permission to do so. But really, trucking companies are really open to having people visit and learn more about what they do on a day-to-day basis. So it's, and from experience, like a Touch a Truck event for kids, they're not in high school, those are in elementary. But when they get to see the truck and when they get to experience it firsthand, it usually piques their interest.
That's fantastic. Do you know, I mean, I know that it wouldn't come from your organization, but do you, let me see here, sorry. Do you know of any female youth mentorship programs available across the country?
Female youth mentorship program?
Yes.
Specific to the industry?
Yes.
I don't know any that would be women specific. A lot of employers, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, but there's probably, but you do have youth mentorship programs that are happening across the country, but not necessarily female specific right now.
No, exactly, and it's on an employer basis. So each employer has its own way of doing it, and it really depends on the area of focus of that particular employer. Because when you look at the different types of business focus. If you look at dangerous goods versus livestock, which are two different types of businesses, they will have two different approaches to it. There are a lot of employers actually, and that's part of something that we do with them. Without being women specific, we do participate in the Take Our Kids to Work Day on November 2nd. So that's one of the examples where they will pair the kids with people in the company and try to explain what it is that they do. So that may be one example of that. Other than that, it usually goes further than that. So if you look at some provincial associations run next generation programs, but usually that's later on, so that would be after high school. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. And I do see some information coming in. That's always great about these webinars is we have so many people involved with getting more women involved with the trade. So I'm getting some information coming in about different programs across the country to help answer your question, Mary. So we will send that out as part of the information we provide after the webinar.
And if there's any question that come up later, or if you think of anything, feel free to contact us as well, right? It's the website is provided there. I don't think my email is provided, but maybe we can have that provided with the link to the video.
Absolutely, I can, for sure. So one last question. Is there literature that you can provide to community colleges or educational institutions about your resources?
Not for the moment, but we're developing it right now, so it will be available in the coming months. We do have some information on our website, but if I can get your contact information, or if you'd like to be contacted with that material, that's definitely something we can share once it's completed.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you. I'd like to thank Isabelle again for coming here and spending your time and your expertise to really help women in Canada explore opportunities in Canada's trucking sector. Like we mentioned, we will make Isabelle's contact information available after the webinar, and this webinar has been recorded, so we will post it on our YouTube channel and make sure that you all receive the link in case you would like to refer back to it afterwards. For more resources to help women explore opportunities in the skilled trades, please visit CAF's Skilled Trades Network, an online community for centralized information and shared experience. The goal is to help women find employer sponsors and to engage employers in learning about the business case of hiring women. Our Ask the Expert tool allows apprentices and those interested in the trades to ask questions and obtain answers from experts in their field. The goal is to help individuals overcome barriers and move forward with their apprenticeship. Lastly, don't forget to join our social media community and stay in the know of Canada's latest apprenticeship news, events, and trends. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in today's webinar, and we look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. Have a wonderful afternoon.